Alright everyone, this is William Craddock, WillToWinGaming. Today I have for you what's, I don't know, probably a rite of passage, or, pretty much everyone who does content that I've seen does a tier list. And this is going to be my tier list for OP-03. I have played almost all of these decks, the exception of maybe like Sanji. So if I put your deck somewhere you don't like, I'm sorry. But that's just how it goes. This is just my opinion. Although it's my educated opinion, I've done a lot of testing. So, yeah, let's get into it. First, going to start off with, I guess let's go down the line here. Edward Newgate. Not a ton's changing. You're getting Ezo. It's going to smooth out your draws a little bit. I think given his strength in the current meta, and he's getting a little bit of a bump, I'm going to go ahead and put Newgate. He's going somewhere in here. Where's the... Man, I still think he's only A tier. I think a lot of Newgate's power comes from people not knowing how to play against him. So I'm going to put him in A tier instead of S tier, which I think that's right. S tier's got to be something special, right? Garp, 4 life, the color scheme just doesn't work. It's going to be an aggressive format, just like OP-02. We're going to put him in C tier. Black has some really strong cards. Red has some really strong cards, of course. But being on 4 life, just not where you're going to want to be at this format. So I think C is a good place for Garp. It's going to Kinemon. Kinemon's still going to be strong. Not real great in my opinion. I think this deck is kind of like a high roll deck, and he doesn't have much play. He's pretty linear. So going into OP-02, I still think he'll be B tier simply because he's green. Sanji, 4 life. This blue-green is not where you want to be. It's almost like blue-green in Magic Limited formats, not where you want to be. He doesn't have much. He has no pizzazz. He has no oomph. He's going to be our first addition to the D tier. Sorry, Sanji lovers. Might get some downvotes for that, but what can you do? It's moving on to Ivankov. I don't like Ivankov. I think Ivankov's just a kind of high roll, terrible version of Doffy. And Ivankov's just card packages are not great to me. But I think, that being said, the deck does have its 2-card combo, has its synergies, so the deck can be good. So we're going to go ahead and put Ivankov into B tier. Next we have Magellan. I dislike Magellan with a passion. I think it's just not very good. I know a lot of people, Magellan's kind of like this anti-meta pick, but even then I just don't think Magellan's good against the decks it's supposed to be good against. I think Magellan's pretty mediocre at best. So we're going to put Magellan to the C tier here. Man, most leaders... I don't like... My only problem with tier lists, I don't think, people are like, oh, it's D tier, it's unplayable. I don't know if it's unplayable. Sanji might be unplayable. But Magellan, you can play it, you just don't expect to do well. So I don't know. And, don't give me that Magellan want to win a case tournament or whatever. Like, that can happen. That doesn't mean the deck's good. Anyway, moving on. Let's go on to Zephyr. I personally like Zephyr quite a bit. I think Zephyr is just a super good deck. It's just having 4 life is such a detriment. But Zephyr, to me, is probably better than something like Sanji or Garp. I'd put Zephyr, if there was something, like right here between B and C, I think Zephyr's going to be a B minus for me. The color combination's so good. But again, the leader ability is good. But the 4 life is just too hard to deal with right now. Smoker, I think Smoker's just butt. Smoker's ability and card set and just kind of the overall scheme isn't great. So we're just going to put Smoker in the C tier. Sorry, Smoker. I tried. I tried. Y'all know I played Smoker. I tried, but he's just not. He's not where it's at. And then later I might go back and just, but Luffy is making a splash right now. I think it's a lot of consideration is that it's because of Law in the format. When Law disappears, Luffy kind of probably disappears too. His ability is good. His card set's good. He's red, of course. So I think he's going to stay in this kind of B tier area. I think he can be good, but he's not going to be great. All right, let's move on to Kid. So Kid, to me, being green and having his leader ability would automatically put him in A tier if it wasn't for some of the upcoming leaders like Katakuri and Big Mom. So I think even though Kid is just super strong, like his leader ability is crazy good. Like Kid's leader ability is crazy good. But I don't think it's good enough to land him into this A tier bracket. So we're going to put him into what it's probably going to be the most full tier for me, into this B tier here. But he's like, he's definitely better than Kinemon. So, I would switch these around. I'm not really doing the tier list in order within their sub, there's not like a sub rank. This is just, tier 0, tier 1, tier 1.5, and that's where it's going to sit. Crocodile, I think, is better than Ivankov. If there was a spot for Crocodile here, I think that's where it'd be. Honestly, I think a well-played Crocodile is like A tier. I think him and Daffy, fight for a top spot for this, just the way this next format's shaking out in general. But again, I think he's just not quite. Man, actually, let's come back to that. We're coming back to that. We're coming back to the blue leaders. We're gonna shift some of these here. You're going here. Sorry, you're going here. I'm not gonna worry about these guys. These two are just they're just not near as good as their counterparts. They don't have what it takes. Like, they're not good. I don't really want to spend a lot of time discussing them. They're just not good. Sanji can be king of the crap pile down here, where we have your Sakazuki and your Shanks. It breaks my heart that Shanks is so terrible. It's what it is. What it is. And we're almost done with the OP-02 heroes, and we'll get to the OP-03. So that'll be fun. Kaido has the same problems. Slow. You need to draw your island. I love Kaido, but he's definitely going to be C tier. You draw your island, he's like from here to here. But you don't draw your island, he's just firmly in C tier, and he's never going to be good. Zoro. Now, Zoro is where I'm going to get roasted, as I have very strong opinions on this leader in general. I think Zoro is bad. I think he's a huge percentage of the meta because he's linear, he's easy to play. There's a lot of, people are like, Zoro's actually really hard to play as aggro. That's like, in Mono Red, people will say, hey, Mono Red's really hard to play. You got to get him to 0 with all these limited resources. No. Zoro is always good at the start because aggressive decks are always good at the start of formats. Then Zoro stays on the map because there's so many people playing him. He's just a numbers game. But overall, Zoro's not good, in my opinion. So I'm just going to... he's not good in the sense that I don't think he's where people say he is. So I'm going to stick Zoro in B tier with his buddies. But he might be like king of the B tier. But Zoro's not where it's at. People, you can say he is all you want, but Zoro's just not where it's at. If you really want my long-winded opinions on Zoro, you have to join my Patreon. But this card is just not. This leader and deck in general is just not as good as people think it is. Next we have Red Green Law. I see no reason for Red Green Law to fall off. Given all the new leaders and what they're bringing to the table, like he might have a really bad matchup against Ace. But besides that, he seems really solid. So honestly, I think I'm gonna keep Law on S tier. Law is just this leader that gets better every set. Every time something new comes out, Law is gonna get better and better and better because the things he can do just breaks the game compared to what everyone else can do. That being said, I don't think it's an unbeatable deck. There's a lot of strategies to beat Law, and there's a lot of piloting to Law. Probably not as much as most people say, but there is some. So Law is strong. He will get stronger as sets go on, and until we get cards that really punish, the mono one-drop playstyle, something like a Vista that might target all one-drops. I guess there's a Shanks, but it costs 9, so I don't know. But yeah, Law is super strong. You'll have to play against it. I think he won't be popular at the beginning because people are going to be trying all the new decks, but once people realize that the new decks aren't as great, or I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say they're not as great, but the new decks aren't just head over heels better than the OP-02 decks, the OP-01 decks even, then it'll, kind of normalize itself. No, we're almost at the end, and I'm going to have to do the blue leaders. All right, King. I'm not going to talk about King. He sits over here with, his friends in the I wish I would win a tournament bracket, but same with Uda. She's going there too. Sorry, Uda. This is just this is the fanboy bracket. You want Shanks to be good. You want King to be good. It's just not going to happen. All right. Sorry. Moving on. All right, we're going to go to Red-Green Luffy. I don't have any experience with this deck. I know people say there's things it can do. I've never seen it. I've played against it very few times at tournaments, maybe twice. It wasn't impressive. They just died. It just seems like a bad Law deck, so we're going to put Luffy in C tier. That's fine. He's Luffy. He's seen C tier. I want to put him in D tier, but I feel bad because this is just, bum. But we can put this guy here. Is this Katamon? I always forget. Yeah, I think this is Katamon. You're going to go here with your friends. Sorry, Austin Elkins. I have a friend who loves to play this deck, but you're going to join your friends here. All right. Now we got Blurple Kaido. This is, again, a deck I want to work. I think Blurple Kaido is better than Purple Kaido. Given how this next format's going to shape up, though, I don't think there's any room for him. So he's going to come down to C tier with his Kaido friend. Not much to say. The deck's it's just Kaido with less life. It's got a little more consistency because you can ramp yourself. You can get more Dawn yourself using the leader ability. But it's just not a good deck. Let's go to Blurple Croc. This is something I'm excited for in OP-04. If y'all haven't looked at OP-04, you can take a peek if you want to. There's a new event coming out that's crazy for Blurple Crocodile. I don't want to spoil it though, so I'm not going to mention it here. But yeah, I'm excited for Blurple Croc in set 4, even though I think there are some things that are going to keep it from being top tier. It's got, its matchups are very polarizing. But honestly, I think Blurple Crocodile is better than, say, Blurple Kaido. Probably not better than Zephyr, so I might put him at the... No, I'm still putting him in C tier. I put him up here with Garp. Or I put it up here in C tier, and we're going to move Garp down, because I still like Garp. But like I said, I'm not really ordering these. These are just kind of me putting them in my brain. But they're not in order of any... This is just their tier. They're not divided into sub-tiers. All right, let's do the last two blue leaders here for OP-02, then we'll move on to the OP-03 stuff. Croc and Dofi, y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but I think a well-played blue deck is very good. I think a well-played blue deck is just difficult to beat. So I'm honestly going to put Croc and Dofi in A tier. I'm going to get a lot of probably like, you're stupid, turn off the video, I don't want to watch anymore. But honestly, I would tell people, don't look at what's coming out of Japan, because if you're in the US, your meta is going to be different. And these decks have proven themselves in the US meta. And I consider, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or how we approach card games in general, our meta is generally more competitive than over in Asia, where, like I said, I don't know if it's cultural. I don't know if it's this amount of people, but our meta develops differently and develops very quickly. And then it seems to kind of like change. And blue has proven itself here in the U.S., where overseas it didn't do much. I know Croc popped up for a little while, but that's not to say the players aren't good in Japan or, wherever you want, overseas. It's just, I think there are fewer of those really spiky, high-level players, and so they're not trying as many different things, so the meta is either very stagnant or it evolves slower than here in the U.S. That's all I'm trying to say. But there's been so many like Magic players, crazy Japanese Magic players, so good. But that's beside the point. All right, let's move on. So I'm gonna start with Katakuri and Big Mom. I think yellow is super strong. I think they are both going to go to the A tier bracket. I think Katakuri and Big Mom play differently, but are both incredibly strong. I think yellow is just a strong color in general. I would say I think Big Mom is slightly better than Katakuri. I know Katakuri is 1 Dawn, 7k attack. Just incredible exchange rate over the course of the game. But I think Big Mom's leader ability and letting you play kind of a different subset of cards, there's a lot of overlap in these two, but then when you get into Big Mom, you can play more reliably, play like the Thunderblade and get it out of your life. That it becomes really strong, because being able to KO any 5 or less out of life is just an incredibly strong ability. And then towards the late game, you might be able to just play one out of your hand. It only costs 2 Dawn, kill something 5 or less. It does cost you a life, but that's not always relevant at the point you're playing it. So yeah, I think Big Mom, Katakuri, solidly A tier. Maybe one of them will move up as the meta shakes out, but definitely in this A tier. Ace, which is probably my favorite going into OP-03. I love this deck. I'm also going to put solidly in the A tier. It's incredibly strong. It does have some problems. I'm not going to tell you what those are in case I don't want to take it to a tournament. But yeah, Ace is solidly A tier, has good matchups kind of across the board, or more like 50-50 matchups across the board. I think Ace will do really good against Law, so this might be like a consideration, this fight here. But yeah, Ace, incredibly strong, just kind of all the tools to win a game. It can generate advantage, it can generate tempo if you hit an event out of life, which has several. It's red, has the good finishers, has good mid game. Ace just kind of has all the tools. And honestly, I'm gonna put Ace up here. Now I'm talking about, I'm gonna put Ace up here. I think Ace is S tier with some problems. Ace is definitely S tier with some problems. So like I would say, S minus, whereas Law might be S, just regular S. All right, this guy, green spinny East blue something guy. So this leader is interesting. Sorry, I forgot his name. You're gonna have to look him up. I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name. But I have played against this deck, and I was impressed just by kind of what it can do and the card pool. And it's green, strong. His leader ability is just oddly good at some points. So I'm going to put this, even though I forgot his name, I feel bad. I'm actually going to put him as the top green deck. I have limited experience with I haven't seen a lot of OP-03 kids, Kinemons. Oh, wait. These are different. Who are you? Okay, this is the bad one. Alright. You're Kinemon. You're good. You're Kazuki Odin. I called him Kinemon earlier. Whatever. You stay here. You're good. You stay here. But this card, this is a sleeper pick, right? This leader in this deck. I don't know if it's been figured out completely, but I played against it and I was like, wow, that's kind of impressive. What it can do is impressive. So I'm going to put him in A tier. That's going to be my sleeper pick for this format. Arlong, no. I don't even know, man. I haven't played Arlong. I've only played against it once or twice. They just died. I don't know what Arlong's supposed to do. Maybe Arlong will get better and move up to... But right now, Arlong's just kind of... You're Sanji tier. You can be king of the Sanji tier. Y'all can be friends. So I don't really know much about Arlong, what it's going to do. But, I mean, it is what it is, right? Alright. Nami. This is... I can talk a lot about the Nami deck. I love the Nami deck because it's kind of this gatekeeper to a lot of other archetypes. Nami is going to be the one that might keep Katakuri or Big Mom from going up to S tier. Nami has this innate ability to push down control or mid-range kind of slower decks. And honestly, I've been playing the Nami deck quite a bit. And I think there's two builds. There's more the character focused build, which I don't think is good at all, and there's more event focused build, which I think is where you want to be. But besides that, I honestly think Nami is strong. So I'm gonna put Nami in A tier. I don't think the Kabaji fiasco would have changed anything. I think Nami is A tier regardless. So yeah, you can come join your blue friends in the A tier. I think blue will be strong. Blue is just hard to pilot efficiently. Iceberg, I tried to play you, and this is where you're gonna go. It became apparent pretty quickly how detrimental not being able to attack your leader is. Even being able to put out 6Ks very quickly with Iceberg's ability, it just wasn't enough. Not having like you're minus like 7 or 8 attacks over the course of a game, and it was just so bad. You know, it just did not work. So I tried Iceberg. I really did. Let's try Black Yellow Big Mom. I enjoyed this deck quite a bit. I think the ability to heal is really powerful, of course. Black Yellow is a potent combination of cards. The problem is the just overall cost investment, having to attach 2 Dawn and pay 2 Dawn. I think Black Yellow Big Mom is going to go to B tier for that reason. I think it's strong, but it's not even really the 4 life or the cost investment of being able to use the ability. It's the combination of both. Because you have access to black, you have so many strong cards, or cards that will be more, incredibly strong in OP-03, like your 3-cost blocker that can be destroyed and your Borsalinos. That being said, it's the combination of abilities, 4 life, and the cost of her overall leader ability that puts her in B tier instead of A tier or even S tier. If you just attach 2 Dawn, attack, heal 1, or only pay 1 extra, heal 1, it'd definitely be A tier. But as it is, Black Yellow Big Mom stuck in B tier. Finally, last but not least, Rob Lucci. I think Rob Lucci is so good. I think Rob Lucci's matchups are going to be polarizing. At least 1 or 2 of them. There's one in particular I have in mind. I know a lot of people playing Rob Lucci have been struggling with the yellow decks. But I still think Rob Lucci as a whole is just incredible. Like his kit, his leader ability, everything about him is really strong. So I'm putting Rob Lucci into our S tier. And I think, yeah. So this is where I think I would stay on my tier list. I don't think, I didn't put much thought into these. These are kind of irrelevant. I'm sorry if you're a fan or you think, you know, they want a tournament. They're just not good. Maybe Arlong. I haven't played with Arlong, but besides that, this is going to be my tier list for OP-03. Could be right, could be wrong. You never know. But overall, I think these are all pretty strong. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching my tier list. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you have anything you think should be going up, should be going down, you should let me know in the comments. And don't forget to check out our Patreon, because I did 4 coaching sessions this week already. It's been a ton of fun. I appreciate all the support. And I'll see everyone next time.